Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video, brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. Let's get this started today. Tuesday, July 29th, 2014 is the date. The markets are trading slightly lower, except for the NASDAQ, which is up 8 points. Dow is down 24, S&P down about 4. Now, right now, we continue to see this cycle slowly take hold. It's one of the slower cycles to take hold, but you can see it everywhere out there. And again, just look at the markets and the continued inability for us to really break to the upside. Here you came up intraday, made a little bit of a higher high, and then you came right back down. Then you bounced back up, and the markets again are having no ability to get to the upside. All right, again, you can see the markets today opening higher and then sold off. Then they bounced back, sold off again. And we're hovering right here around the lows. This upsloping trend line is the one we're looking for a close below, and then you must confirm. Once you confirm, then look for extra downside. One thing I want to note, the NASDAQ and the S&P are still trading close to their major even numbers. NASDAQ 4,500, S&P 2,000. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm telling you this right now, if they inch it above briefly before they take it down. There might be something tomorrow with GDP, and this is huge, guys. The next 3 days will be huge for this market because tomorrow morning, GDP is announced. That's the second quarter first advanced estimate of GDP. Then later in the day, we get the FOMC policy statement where we're expected to get another reduction in QE by $10 billion. The question is, what does the Federal Reserve say? Do they say they're going to raise interest rates? When are they going to raise interest rates? Are they going to change their lingo, their chatter? These are all things that the market will be looking towards. So tomorrow's a huge day, and then on Friday we have the non-farm payrolls number, another huge metric for this market. So the markets again today, very light volume as expected ahead of this, but even in light volume, they're not getting a big push to the upside. Now again, as I said, there's a minor chance that you can still, actually it's more than minor, I'd say it's 50-50, that you peak above that even number really quickly before you start to reverse back down, which starts the bigger sell-off. But right now we just have to follow the charts. And again, look for this line here, which we're closing below. If we close here today, we would be below, but you still need confirmation. And confirmation could come tomorrow, or if they shoot the markets up, then you don't confirm, and then you go to 2,000 on the S&P. It's really easy to look at the charts and be able to tell what's going to happen. All right. In other words, based on today's close, if we close lower today below this trend line, and then tomorrow, let's say we sell on GDP and the Fed hard, well, then you know everything's working to the downside now, and it's going to start to sell. All right. If we close below and then tomorrow goes up, well, then you don't confirm, and the market should go to the 2,000 on the S&P. And by the way, the S&P 2,000 is like 25 points away. It's so close at this stage of the game. So I just want you guys to understand that. And ultimately, we just continue to trade it. For instance, today I just took profits on my IYT short. IYT was a beautiful, and I want to show you this. This is what makes me love the chart so much. All right. What I want to do here is zoom out, take this high here, connect it through all these highs. Look at this. Look at this, okay? So you're taking this high here to this high, and it connects right through this high, and look at the high right here, right there. And that's where I shorted it, guys. My short on IYT was 151.90. 151.90. And look at the fall since it hit that. That was a great level, and I actually covered my stock today mainly because we had the FOMC statement tomorrow, so I really didn't want to mess with it. Could it go a little bit lower and touch that 50? Yes, and it very likely will. But the point is, again, it's not worth it to me to take that risk and have it pop back up a little bit if the markets start going up. I'd rather just book my $4.30 gain on these in a matter of a week's time. Really less than that. Really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1 week time, one trading week's time. Just book it. And that's what you want to do in this market, especially as you're trying to find that top and that big rollover. It's okay to have some longer term puts and shorts in the market, but you also want to take some profits along the way and then just re-short if it pops back up. All right. And another thing I did this with, take a look at this SMH. SMH is getting a little bit of a bounce, but I shorted SMH right up here because you could see triple top, 1, 2, 3, and it couldn't break through. And sure enough, look at the fall, went right to the 50, and it's getting a little bit of a bounce. So these things are really important. I did give out a new trade today, and it was actually a long trade. So just to show you that it's not all about being short at one time or long at one time, you got to be able to rotate and look for chart patterns. And one thing I saw yesterday that I loved was this bull flag right here off of a failed bearish pattern. So here was your bearish pattern, and it failed. Then you started to make a bull flag, and you've already started to break up. Right now, we're up $1 on this trade on Cena already. And again, this has a good chance to move up into this upper range. We want to see follow through tomorrow. That's the big thing. You get follow through tomorrow on Cena, then it'll go right to 52 and a half, 53 even, somewhere in that vicinity. So again, beautiful trade right there. And again, any member who took this trade when posted is up about $1 on this trade right now, and we still should continue to rock and roll here. All right, guys. So again, I want to just point out one more thing here. And this other thing is that not only did I have the IYT short, but I had the September 155 puts long at $4.80. Guess what they just are trading at now? $8.10. $8.10. Think about that. It's almost 100% gain, guys, on the IYT puts. And again, I gave that out in the technical daily analysis video. I posted it on Trader's Life when I took it. I gave it to the intraday stock chat. Profits galore there. Sick, guys. Absolutely sick. All right, we've been doing a lot more options in the research center with members. As in this market environment, it's actually working out really, really well because you're getting these smaller pullbacks, which in option land actually gives you a bigger gain. When you hit a home run, you'll get even more out of it. But in the short term, it actually works out well. The key is you have to find that level. Like if I showed you that IYT daily chart, go back to that IYT daily. This is why it was a no-brainer for options, because you knew you were going to get that type of pullback. All right, look at the pullback when it hit right here. Boom. So right here again, let's use history as our best guide. Boom, right to the downside. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to, guys. And if you're doing this correctly, most of the time, listen, options are tricky, so you're never going to be 100% with options, neither with stocks, as a matter of fact. But the point is, if you know what you're doing, you should have a high percentage of profiting pretty much, 8 out of 10 times. Okay? All right, so that's what we have going on there, guys. And we'll continue to kind of watch this market and see how it all trades out. Let me just go to a couple other charts. JP Morgan is down slightly on the day, not too much of a drop there. Goldman Sachs is trading up. Apple is trading down slightly, very near 100. I still think Apple has a good chance to get above 100 and double top before it falls apart and comes back in. And I think it could go to as high as 703 to 103, which would have been about 721. So I'm looking for really 101 to 103, I'll give it, which would be right just a little bit above that double top before we see a reversal. Zillow, which announced a buyout for Trulia the other day. You can see this stock is coming back in a little bit. This stock is way out of range. I mean, if you zoom out on this chart, it's a little ridiculous. Stock was back a year plus ago. This stock was trading at 30, 20 bucks, and now it's at 150, a little bit out of control there. But honestly, in this market environment, that's what's happening. All right, by the way, one sign that the markets are very weak, take a look at the IWM. Look at this fall the IWM's had from 121 to 113. This is over a 5% fall, and this is a good leading indicator because what it shows you is that investors aren't willing to take risk anymore. All right, they're moving away from risk. All right, and the more they move away from risk, guys, then the more ultimately it tells you that the fall for the large caps and the Dow stocks and the S&P are coming down the pipeline. Because those, remember, small caps are the first ones for the people exit, and you're seeing it start here. Okay? Then you start looking for the S&P. And this, again, as I said, it's already beginning to form. Question is, can they pop into those even numbers first before it takes really hold? And that's something we'll be watching very, very closely. Okay, so that's what we have going on there, guys. Just again, a note here, we have the S&P down about 3.5, Dow down 20. NASDAQ is up 9.5 right now. Take a look at the TBT today, which tells us what rates are doing, and this tells us that rates are falling. Decent fall, too, on the rates here. We're at the lows of the day on the TBT, as you can see down here. If we flip to the intraday, you can see it a little bit clearer. Right there. So you were down, you rallied, and then fell back down here. I'm actually getting semi-interested in some calls on the TBT, but I'm not ready to enter them just yet. I want to see it go a little bit lower. Corn is down another 25 cents, although off its lows. Had a good rally yesterday, coming right back in today. UNG, which I am currently long, up nice 30 cents. We're in the money on this just a little bit, so another trade we're in the money on. And again, bottom line is, guys, you can profit if you know what you're doing. So come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com and profit with the pros. Markets are nearing their lows of the day. And again, just watch this trend line here. Let's see if we close below it. And then we need to confirm tomorrow. Tomorrow, Fed announcement and GDP. Huge day tomorrow. Take care.